Hello and welcome to the BMC Quick Course series. In this session, I will show you how to use the new features in Catalog Manager to administer the tables on your Accelerator. Three new list commands have been added for Accelerator. ACC displays rows from sysexcel.sysaccelerators. ACCPG displays rows from sysaccel.sysaccelerated packages, and ACCTB displays rows from sysaccel.sysaccelerated tables. The ACC list shows both columns from the sysaccelerators table. The ACCPG list shows rows from the sysaccelerated packages table. The table is used to retain the most recent values used for query acceleration and get Excel archive bind options. Catalog Manager will populate the values from this table into the bind and rebind commands if this table exists and the package is in this table. The ACCTB list shows columns from the sysaccelerated tables table. The list can be qualified using table creator and table name patterns to limit the display. So you can type S to select a row to see all of the columns. The additional columns display the most recent timestamps from when the table was created, altered, or refreshed, and whether the table is archived on the Accelerator. Finally, there is a new action command, ACCEL. This command is used to generate and execute commands on the Accelerator. This command will be used to add new tables to the Accelerator, to load or otherwise control the tables on the Accelerator, and to control or display information about the status of the Accelerator. For this sample session, there are tables on the Accelerator that have been created and loaded from the Catalog Manager product tables. We will go through the process of deleting and creating tables on the Accelerator. A list of these tables is produced by typing ACCTB space ACCT112.splat from the command line of the main menu or other list. First, we can remove all of these tables from the Accelerator by using the Accel All command to select all of the tables and open the Excel dialog for accelerated tables. The Control Accelerator Tables dialog will now allow you to select the command you want to execute on the Accelerator. In this case, we will select the option to execute the commands and the option to generate the Accelerator command to remove the tables. When we press Enter, the dialog will generate the Accelerator commands for each table and call the stored procedure to execute the commands on the Accelerator. As the commands execute, a progress indicator panel will display each command as it is executed. When all commands have been executed, a results summary is displayed to indicate the success or failure of the commands. These results are stored in the Catalog Manager session log. We can end back to the Accelerator Tables list and type a refresh command. We now see that all of the tables have been removed from the Accelerator and from the accelerated tables. Now we will create a list of the DB2 tables that we want to add to the Accelerator by typing a table list command tbact112.*. This will display all of the product tables so that we can now add them to the Accelerator. First, type ACCL on the first table in the list to display the dialog for a single table. By selecting a single table, you will be able to select specific columns for the distribution key and/or organizing keys. If you select the default dist key option, then Catalog Manager will use up to 4 columns from either the primary key or another unique key to populate the distribution key columns. You can also select the Select Keys option to display a list of all the table columns from which you can select columns that would be used in the distribution key and columns that will be used in the organizing keys. Once all options have been specified, type Y for the Execute command option, and the command will be sent to the stored procedure to execute on the accelerator. The command is sent to the accelerator, and a progress display will show the command as it executes. After the command completes, the results will be displayed and logged in the Catalog Manager session log. To continue with this table, we will end back to the table list and then get a list of accelerated tables. From the Accelerated Tables list, we can now select the table we added using the ACCEL command to display the dialog for actions for accelerated tables. The dialog for accelerated tables allows you to perform the actions you might want for a table on the accelerator. The options on the panel are displayed in the order that they will typically be used, depending upon the intended purpose of the table on the accelerator. If the table is to be an archive table, then that should be executed first. If data replication is to be used, then that would be executed second. Next, the table data would be loaded onto the accelerator, and finally, acceleration would be enabled. We will load the table by selecting Execute equal Y and Option equal 3. The progress panel will be displayed while the command is executing on the accelerator, along with the result messages returned from the stored procedure. After the commands are complete, the results panel is displayed with the complete text from the messages. These messages will show the number of rows loaded. After you review the messages and press End, you will be returned to the Control Accelerated Tables dialog. If we select option I to get information for the table, we will see the results. This is the result of the Get Info command showing that the table is defined and loaded, but has not yet been enabled for acceleration. Return to the main menu and get a fresh list of the tables that we are adding to the accelerator. To continue, exclude the first table in the list because we already added that table to the accelerator. ACCEL space all will select all of the remaining tables. Notice that since multiple tables have been selected, the options to specify specific columns for the distribution key and organizing keys have been omitted. You may select the option to generate a default distribution key using the primary key or other unique key as we saw in the prior example. After the options are specified, select the Execute equal Y option to begin adding these tables to the accelerator. After all commands have been executed, the results panel is displayed. Scroll down to see the details of the error for the SQL table. The SQL table had a warning because one of the columns is defined using an unsupported data type of varchar for bit data. The data for that column will not be loaded on the accelerator. Now that all tables have been added to the accelerator, we can return to the table list where we started. A reset command will turn off the X for the excluded row. Display of all the accelerated tables using ACCTB space ACT112 dot asterisk on the command line. This will display all of the tables we just added to the accelerator. From the accelerated tables list, we can now select all of the tables using ACCEL space all on the command line and display the ACCEL dialog. First, we will select the load option to load data into all of the tables we have added to the accelerator. The progress panel will be displayed as the commands are executed. Once all of the commands have completed, the results panel is displayed. This will show the detailed results of all the commands. You can scroll through the messages to verify that the tables were loaded successfully. When you have verified the commands completed successfully, end back to the Control Accelerated Tables panel. Select option 4 to enable acceleration for all of the tables. The progress panel will be displayed as the commands are executed. The results panel will be displayed when all commands are completed. Press End to return to the Accelerated Tables list. Type ACC on the command line to get a list of all accelerators. Type ACCEL on the accelerator list to display the Control Accelerator dialog. The Control Accelerator dialog will allow you to execute various accelerator commands to display and terminate tasks, to get accelerator information, control replication, and so on. Select Execute equal Y and Option equal to get accelerator information. The progress panel will be displayed briefly as the command is executed, followed by the accelerator information report. Press N to return to the Control Accelerator dialog. Select Execute equal Y and Option equal 3 to request a report of tasks that are executing on the accelerator. You can copy a task ID that is displayed and then paste that task ID into the field on the Control Accelerator dialog for use in a Cancel Task command. Now we will actually test executing queries from both DB2 and the accelerator. From the main menu, get a list of the tables that we have just loaded and enabled. Type BR or Browse on table ACT112.SQL_table to display the table browser dialog. Request the additional options panel. Scroll to the bottom of the additional options panel. Notice that there is a new option for query acceleration. This option is initialized to blanks every time you enter the table browser to use the subsystem default for query acceleration. You can select an option from the list to specify a different option. First, select the option in, which will force the optimizer to run queries on DB2. Press Enter to set the option. The additional options panel is redisplayed. Press End to return to the Browse main panel. From the Browse menu, press Enter to display the table rows. The table rows are displayed. If we ask for a row view mode display, we can see that all of the table columns have been returned. Notice that all columns are displayed, including the action column, in back to the browser main menu. Select the additional options once again. Scroll to the bottom and change the query acceleration option to A, then end back to the Browse menu. Press Enter. This time the query will be forced to run on the accelerator. This time we get an SQL error. If you recall, when we added this table to the accelerator, there was a warning that the column action was not supported on the accelerator because the data type varchar for bit data is not supported on the accelerator. Press N to display the select statement that caused the error. You can see that we are asking for the action column and it is not on the accelerator. Press Enter to return to the Browse menu. Select the Edit Select Statement option to display the table columns. Deselect the action column to omit that column from the select statement. Then press Enter to execute the modified select statement. This time the rows are retrieved successfully. Switch to the row view mode. And you can see that the action column was not retrieved. End back to the select statement and select the action column again, then into the Browse menu. Select the additional options again and scroll to the bottom. This time select F for Enable with Failback. This will cause the optimizer to attempt to execute the query on the accelerator, but if that fails, it will execute the query on DB2 instead. Press N back to the Browse menu. Now press Enter to execute the query again. Switch to the row view mode. The action column is displayed, so the rows must have been fetched from DB2. You can test your queries using the different settings for the query acceleration options by setting the option in the browser and executing your query to see the results. This concludes the introduction to the Accelerator support, which has been added to Catalog Manager for DB2. Thank you for your time.